morning. Morning. Mr. Lesham is here, and we're moving on to our third and final rule, as far as I'm aware, in trig triangles. Okay. So the first one was the sine rule. The second one was the cosine rule. This one is called the area rule. And as the name suggests, it will help us calculate area of triangles. So we start as always. We've got triangle. The vertices or the angles are A, B, C, and the sides opposite them are also A, B, C's. We usually use little letters for that. Okay, maybe I'll write that as a big C and this is a little c. Now, how do we calculate the area of a triangle? How do we normally calculate the area of a triangle?
Base times height.
Half time base times height, but I don't even have a height. So using this rule allow you to calculate the area of a triangle even if you don't know the height, which is fine. So it starts the same with a half. And then what you do, you basically take two sides. Pick up two sides. A and C. So if I multiply half times A times C, what the height rule, the area rule tells me, I need to time this by sine of the angle between A and C.
So B or big B.
Correct, big B. Okay? So the area of the triangle will be half times side, times sine, the angle in between them. Can you see that?
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about it. I'm going to put the angles here so it will be a little bit more clear for you. Okay? So half times A times C times sine B. But you could calculate that, for example, let's say you don't know AC, but you know BC. So you can also do half times BC. Let's say you don't know A, but you know B and C. But now you're going to have to count it by sine what? A. Well done, okay? So it's always the sine of the angle between the two sides that you are aware of. Okay? We've got obviously one more way of calculating it, and that's going to be half time what? So we had AC, we had BC. The last option is? There's no E, but
CB.
no, we've done CB. BC and CB is the same. AB, well done. Okay, AB. But now we're going to have to count it by sine. Angle between them? C. Okay, let's make that a big C. Okay? So that's your formula that we're going to use. And I can tell you guys, for trig, next year, grade 12, you're going to use that. There's always questions about that. And they can be a bit tricky. I personally like them. It's all about understanding this area. If you understand that, it's going to really help you next year. Okay, let's look at one question, one example. Right, so as our first question, first example, really easy. They give us a triangle. Okay? You've got two sides and an angle. You have to have two sides and an angle for the area. Okay? And we're asked to calculate the area of this triangle. So how do we do it? We use this formula. Now, you don't need to remember all these things. I'm hoping you understand. You don't need to remember AC, because what you just got to remember is half times two sides times sine of the angle between them. That's it. Okay? You understand? You don't need to remember formulas, letters, because you won't know what they mean. It's more important to know what they mean. So how would I calculate this area? Half times. Say again? Yeah, be brave.
30.
Yeah, 30 times 22. Good, you said you can do it. Times sine 63 sine the angle in between them. If I gave you another angle here, let's say I gave you that this is 40, then obviously you're not going to hopefully get confused and write sine 40. I made it maybe a bit too easy for you where I didn't give you the other angle. Okay, maybe in a test they'll give you both angles and then you need to choose the correct angle. And you can see that you must choose that angle because that's the angle between 20 and 30. Okay? Can we get an answer on that one? Just pause here. Okay, now it's getting a little bit more tricky. Because honestly, guys, a question like that you're not going to get this because it's just too easy. Okay, you're going to get something more like that. So we asked to calculate the area of this triangle. Now, can you see what's the problem here?
We don't have the other side or the opposite.
Correct.
Side.
So to find our area of a triangle, triangle, I need two sides. Okay, I've got two sides, but I need the angle in between. So I don't have the angle in between. That is the problem. So there's a couple of options I can do here, or at least there's definitely one. And what you're gonna, and that's what you're gonna see in the test. You're gonna have to use more than one rule. So we're gonna have to use the sine rule in this case. The sine rule allows us to find another angle or another side. Okay? So if you remember, the sine rule tells us the sine an angle divided by the side opposite to it, okay, is going to be equal to the sine another angle opposite the other side. So which angle I'm actually up looking for? If I've got these two sides, N, this is the one I want to. But unfortunately, I don't have a side opposite to it. So what I'll have to do, I'll first find N, and once I have N, then I know what N is, because it's just all added to 180. Okay, there could be more than one way of doing it, but that's the way that comes to my mind now. So let's try and find N. Sine N, okay, sine the angle divided by which side? 8, okay, because if I'm looking for this angle, I need to do the sine that angle is divided by that will be equal to, let's use angles that I know, sine 75 divided by 10. That allows me to find N. Right? How would I find N? Well, first of all, I'll say sine N equal what? Okay, that's what we worked on last week. How do I rearrange that equation?
10 seems.
How do I get rid of this 8?
8.
Times by 8. So 8 sine 75 divided by 10. Do you mind if I just simplify? What is 8 over 10?
2 over 10.
Divided by 2. Divide both by 2. 4, 5. Okay. 4, 5. Okay. But now that is sine n. I want to find n. What is n? How did we do that? Inverse of what? So inverse sine of what? What do I put inside the inverse?
4775 over 5.
And it's really, really important, guys, that before you put anything in the calculator, just write that down. Okay? Now let's use the calculator to find what that is. Okay, so we've got 50,660. I'll just write one decimal places. That's it. Okay, let's write it down. 50,6. But now that's not the angle that I really was looking for. See, this is where problems in math, as they're becoming older and older, you do step by step, but you also have to be aware what I'm actually trying to do. I wasn't after M, I was after N. Why was I after N? Because now I can use the area rule. To use the area rule, I need side and side and the angle in between. But now I can use this to find what N is, right? N is going to be 180 minus 50,6 plus 75, right?
Yeah.
Are you happy if I write it down like this?
Yes, sir.
Okay? Alright, let's find out an answer for that one.
54.4.
54.4. Okay? I think that's what they got. Yeah, they got it there as well. Okay, now we can finally use the area rule. Okay? How do I find area? Okay, I'll just put it like this. Area of triangle ABC. Nothing wrong with writing it like that. Except that it's not ABC, it's MNP. Okay. What do I do? How do I apply the area? So half times 10 times 8 times sine 54,4. Fantastic. In fact, I could have done it a little bit easier, but it's actually not a problem. And that's equal to 32. Okay, I'll just check this if this is right. Pause here. Yeah, of course, I hear what you're saying, Finn. It's units squared. And why do I have to write units squared? Because I don't know if it's in centimeters or meters. If I knew that these guys are in centimeters or meters, then I would write centimeters squared, meters squared. If it's not, always write units squared for area. If it's length, just units. Right, I'll pause here. Perhaps the last example that I've got here for you is we're going to work in reverse. Okay? So I've got a triangle, I've got two sides, and that's it. I don't have any angles. But they are actually telling me what's the area. They're telling me the area is 400. So we're still using the area rule, which you can see on the left here. A little more. There, okay? We're just going to have to rearrange it. Okay, so let's look at here. Okay, area is half times side times side times sine, sine the angle between them. Ooh, I don't know if I told you what they're asking us to calculate. What do you think they're asking us to calculate?
The angle.
The angle. You're right. They're asking us to calculate the angle B. That's what we asked to calculate. So we're going to write the area rule, and we plug in numbers for what we know. So what is the area? Okay, the area will start with the area. What's the area?
400.
400 centimeters squared. That's going to be equal. What does that area rule tell you? Read to me from the half time
30 times 40.
30 times 40, right? Side times time what?
Should be
Sine the angle in between them, which is B. So I just write it down, just like I always told you in science, if you remember, if I taught you science. Always substitute first in the equation and then rearrange. Don't rearrange straight away, because very possible that you'll make a mistake. Okay, now I would, personally maybe find out what it is. Okay, so I've got 400, 30 times 40 is 1,200. Yeah, divided by 2, 600. Just check me that I'm right.
Yeah.
Okay, now I would divide by 100, to be honest.
4.
I can get rid of 2 zeros on either side. So I write 4 equals 6 sine B.
2.
Yeah, correct. So I'm going to write sine B divided by 6 will be 2 out of 3. You happy until here? Didn't really need a calculator. Now we've got to find out B is. Okay? So what do we do?
So
I'll just pause. Yeah. Right, so listen, it comes back to this again and again. It's one of the basic things in trig. Sine B equal 2/3. I know what the sine of angle is. I want to find the angle. What is the angle? What do I do? Inverse, thank you, clearly. Sine minus 1 of 2 over 3. Put down your calculator and you get the answer, which is 31, 41, comma 8. 81. Let's put 2 decimal this time. Just pay attention to what they say in the test when they want 2 decimal. Are we happy? Cool. Let's back. Bye bye.